I shot this sequence with Karam Singh Chauhan near his village in Bathinda district of East Punjab in 2006. A year later, I travelled back to Karam Singh's home to gift him a DVD of our film. I was shocked to learn he was no more. His memories, however, survived another man's tale. So many protagonists of my films who trusted me with their most intimate memories are no more. It made me conscious of my own mortality, but it also made me appreciate the magical ways in which tales travel their way to immortality from one storyteller to another. It is through these tales that I entered an invisible universe of shared Punjabi culture. Akalgarh, my village in Punjab, has a street named after Muslims, a pond named after a Muslim fakir, and Muslims' graveyard too, but there are no Muslims. It is the tales about them that fill up their ambience. If not for memories, how else one would recover a shared culture mutilated by a genocide, divided by contending religions, splintered by caste persecution, and confined by national boundaries? For 10 years, I pursued the path of traveling tales through East Punjab's countryside that resulted in a trilogy of documentaries. Arundhati Roy, the internationally acclaimed Booker Prize-winning author, described my trilogy as, "It is the story of how love survived a genocide." This July 2015 issue of Visual Anthropology commended it. All the films in Bhardwaj's trilogy are important resources for college classrooms. Thus Departed Our Neighbours is a people's narrative of feelings of guilt and remorse about the killings their own communities carried out in 1947. In informal settings, people discussed the fate of individual perpetrators who, they believed, suffered miserably in lives for their misdeeds. I always wondered why these tales didn't travel beyond informal conversations. Tales in Search of Listeners was the title I gave to a piece I wrote on this theme for EPW, an academic journal from India. Later on, I realized it were not the listeners, but the storytellers that these tales waited. Punjabis speak a common language, love the same romance literature, have same myths and folklore. Their spiritual heritage is common too. Though suppressed, its shared culture continues to thrive at local levels is the theme of my documentary, Let's Meet at Baba Ratan's Fair. One thing that is so striking about East Punjab is that in spite of near absence of Punjabi Muslims, a devotional Islam continued to be an inseparable part of its cultural fabric. It is visible in public rituals, performance traditions, village-level ascetics, and Sufi shrines. The persistence of fluid religious identities is so unbelievable and ephemeral that only a film can convince of its truth. Interestingly, till very recently, historians believed such fluid identities didn't survive the rise of religious reform movements in early 20th century. Explaining Punjab's romance literature to me, Machandar Khan Miskin said, "If at all one has found Allah, it was barasta, that means via, V-I-A, through somebody. Machandar became my via to open unknown words to me, just as I hope this film will be a via to someone else. Once a musician was my via to a Dalit woman fakir. Following his directions, I reached the shrine of Baba Sondesha from Qadri tradition. More than 30% of East Punjab's population are Dalits, and they have joined the Sufi tradition both as Sufi peers as well as devotees in big numbers." My documentary, Where the Twain Shall Meet, tells the story of Dalit Sufi bonding East Punjab for the first time. This bonding reflected the quest of Punjabi Dalits to carve out a niche for themselves to escape from the tyranny of caste oppression practiced by dominant caste Sikhs and Hindu Punjabis. The adoption of Sufi identity by Punjabi Dalits is an act of resistance in spiritual language. It is an assertion of Dalits' autonomous identity by rejecting the identity imposed on them by their caste oppressors. It is also their refusal to be subsumed in Hindu and Sikh categories. This film was a great experience in building collaborations by leaving one's ambivalence behind and thinking along the people I was shooting with. Radical Dalit poet Lal Singh Dil paid a handsome remark by commenting, "Camera is the most powerful sun. It sees everything," which I gratefully incorporated in the film itself. Landscape as a character speaks through all the three films of trilogy. In a silent way, it invoked powerful emotions. The way landscape experienced the past, seasoned or weathered, conveys a sense of time and space. It is a meditation on the destiny of a land, its people and culture. Singers and musicians are another common thread running through my trilogy. I consider them as powerful markers of a shared Punjabi identity. Locating singer-musicians in Punjab's larger performance tradition to tell their stories is what brings my film work together with my PhD research. I will be working with the old tradition of Muslim Mirasi community, who are musicians and singers of folk songs as well as trained in Indian classical music. They are also the custodians of Punjab's Sufi devotional singing tradition, Qawwali. My other collaborators are from a new and resurgent tradition of first-generation Dalit Sufi Qawwals. They are emerging from the bulk of Dalit followers of Sufi shrines, an offshoot of the Dalit Sufi bonding I discussed earlier. Sufi shrines are the sites of performance where the two streams of Qawwals converge. I am looking forward to gathering stories about their relationship with each other, with their audience, as well as with the shrines. It will bring out a musical spiritual universe that is the fountainhead of cultural diversity in present-day Punjab. Thank you.